I'd like to give a special shout out to all my patrons, my Wildlings Knights watching Kingsguard. My Kingsguard include Brendan, Nick, Oscar, Stuart, Josephine, Ikaika, Amanda, RJ, Shad, Nicoletta, Kay, Jennifer, Sarah, Pat, Kevin, Ryan, Michael, Terrence, and Ashley. Thank you all so much. You're the best. Welcome back to the Fantasy Network, everyone. My name is, of course, Jimmy Nuts, and today we're back with another episode of Dudes Talking Manga, and I'm joined by my co-host, Andrew. Andrew, how are you doing today?
Good, man. Good. Ready to get after it.
That's right. We are going to be covering issues 7, 8, and 9 in Berserk, which does make up Berserk Volume 3 in the deluxe editions. That's how we are reading through these and doing these episodes. So it's always going to be 3 issues. We were supposed to do Vinland Saga. For all those waiting for that, we will be doing it. But Berserk, honestly, has just kind of been swept up in a storm and has gotten really popular on the channel. And people were jonesing for more. And it had been a while. We both had holidays and the vacation. So we wanted to come back and do some Berserk because so many people were requesting a third episode. And with all that out of the way, Andrew, I think we're ready to dive in, right?
Oh, I love it. I'm ready.
Let's do it. All right. So again, we're doing Berserk Deluxe Edition Volume 3, 7, 8, 9 are the issue counts. We have never read this. So just be aware if this is your first time viewing, I do have older videos on the channel for Deluxe 1 and 2. And we will miss things. It's just the habit, or just the nature of the beast whenever we're new to these things. But we're exploring manga and Berserk, and we're falling in love with it. So keep that in mind as we go through this. But we open up with more of a backstory between Casca and Griffith. We see the earlier days and see that Griffith was selling himself to perverse lord to pay for his army. We also see how haunted he is by a young boy's death who is fighting for his dream. He literally claws his arm just completely up when talking about it, and it wins Casca's pure loyalty at that moment, and she wants to be his sword. How about that, man?
Dude, that's powerful. I mean, right out the gate, too. It just was like, you knew it was going to be a lot happening in this one just because it just came out the gate swinging.
Yeah, we left off with Casca and Guts in the cave, right? And they're in a bad spot, and Griffith's kind of moving on. He's trying to do the right things to secure his kingdom, which he's after, but also is very concerned for Guts and Casca as well. But immediately, I've been kind of suspect of Griffith. Obviously, we saw him in the Black Swordsman arc, and we don't know what happens from here to then with Griffith and Guts. But I've been kind of sus on Griffith. This won me over quite a bit. It showed a lot of empathy to see a young boy lose his life fighting for Griffith's dream was pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Pretty powerful stuff. And I can see why Casca's so loyal.
Yeah, they all just get swept up into it. I mean, she says in there that he's a prophet and a saint. And, that's what she's saying to Guts. And Guts seems to be kind of falling for him as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you can kind of see he instills loyalty and is very inspiring. And I've come around a bit. I've come around a bit on Griffith. I'm trusting him a little bit, and I'm probably going to regret it down the road, but we'll see. We do see more of Guts doubting Casca, and I wouldn't say maybe because she's a woman. He does mention things that are specific about her being a woman, but I also think it's kind of just his nature to make sure that he knows that he's like the alpha of the group, as long as it's not Griffith.
Yeah, he just wants to be the most important, I think, and they both do. I mean, Casca's the same way. She was the most important, and then Griffith saying that he needed, he needed and wanted Guts, and that really that's when Casca, she says, got really upset, and that's I think where the turmoil started locking horns.
Yeah, and even at this point, I think we can kind of see even through the bickering that there is a mutual respect between these two characters, which I like to see. They're going to earn this friendship the hard way, or whatever it ends up being. But now they're fighting with Korbowitz, I believe was his name, and his band of warriors, and Casca is proving her worth. Yeah, you hate him, huh?
I hate him, man. He's just a weasel. It makes me so mad.
Yeah, there's one thing Berserk definitely does well. It's like even these enemies, that probably aren't going to be around all that long. Like we might not see them issues down the road, or maybe I'm wrong when we will. But whenever a villain comes on the page, I genuinely feel like an emotion of hatred towards them.
Yeah, they do a really good job, and it's in like 2 panels. You're like, I immediately hate this dude. Like they either make him unappealing to look at, or he just says something right off the bat, or has an emotion on his face that you're just like, I hate you, or I'm not gonna like you.
And also, it's also fun because they always doubt Guts, almost always, and Guts is just gonna put it back. Like I specifically marked down here that Guts hitting back Samson's mace ball into his face
That was awesome.
So awesome.
Dude,
Absolutely awesome.
I don't know about you, but, like, I mean, maybe I was just it was super big, like, it was super early in when they had a big boss, and I don't know why, I thought he was gonna, like, really put it to guts. I don't know what it was, but I mean, because they were talking about how thick his armor was, and I was like, "I don't know, man." He just had that look, he had that feel. I thought the momentum, that baseball was gonna do it, and then, yeah, Guts just does his thing and just
Just chops him up, man.
big swords him in the head.
Yeah, and another I mean, one thing I will say is that we know that Guts obviously has some ailments in the Black Swordsman arc, and now we're going back. Um, I know I'm wondering when these, injuries are gonna happen. Like, when's he gonna get the cannon arm? When's he gonna lose his eye? All these things. So,
Yeah, 'cause did he say something about tearing his arm off?
yeah, I think he did actually.
And yeah, and I thought that too because I was like, "He's getting his arm torn off already," and then he just didn't, so
Yeah, I would definitely say the creator is messing with us a little bit there. Like, not yet,
yeah,
not yet.
dang with the carrot.
Guts knows he's outmanned in this fight and tells Casca to go. She refuses and ends up that he takes a volley of arrows that were intended for her. Casca's stubbornness is causing him more pain, but she eventually says that he cannot die here. He's Griffith's sword, and swords go back in their sheath. Go to Griffith. Pretty amazing, right?
Pretty awesome.
Yes.
Now that's when he takes the arrows for her multiple times, like, uses himself as a shield, but then I think he saw himself getting a little too chummy with her, and he put I think it was, don't get the wrong idea, you're just in my way," which he says that all the time. If he's that's his defense mechanism that comes up. "You're just in my way." Like, if he they're like, "Oh, that was nice." Like, "Oh, you're in my way." Like
Yeah, he lets the veil down a little bit, and
Yeah.
then he brings it right back up.
Yeah,
Right?
you can feel it, that exposure, and
I just love that line though. Swords go back in their sheath.
ugh, that's
Like, you don't have an option. You have to come back. It's pretty
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, it is.
Guts stays and fights while Casca flees, and she says she will bring Griffith back. Guts takes an arrow through his hand, and Casca gets attacked and remembers what she said to Guts about going back to Griffith, and she fights back with a whole new fury. So even though at this point, like, Casca and Guts are not getting along, again, that mutual respect's there, but also it's just the fact that they both seem to love Griffith,
Mhm.
and they know that that person, each other, are important to Griffith in his plan. And that is enough for them to kind of get through their bickering. Obviously, there's an undertone that they're going to be getting along, right?
Oh,
But
for sure, yeah. But that's definitely the glue that's holding them together, at least at this point.
yeah, absolutely. And I love the fact that there's a piece here where Gut says, the sun's going to come up before I finish splitting your heads. Like, I got to get to it.
I said, yeah, that really stuck out to me as well.
Some of the writing is so good. Like,
Oh, it really is.
going
It's
back to the
just
sheath, the one-liners.
simplistic but powerful, and I
So
think that's what the good manga is. I mean, seemingly all about. So,
Oh, definitely. And I see that in Vinland Saga too. I mean, the
yeah,
writing's stupendous there, but Berserk hits different, man. I'm so attached to Guts. Like, I don't know
him
about you.
too.
This is like the edition. Like, I mean, I said this about two, but this deluxe edition 3 is taking it to a whole nother level.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure. It really so much happens.
it's absurd. And
Yeah,
also, like, test my will.
yeah,
Quite a bit.
yeah. I definitely felt like there was a lot less panels with just pictures in this book.
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit more narrative. Thought there was a
Yeah.
little bit more narrative, which
Well,
which I'm all for.
oh yeah, I am too. I noticed that because I didn't rifle through it like as quickly as I normally do, and that's what I was like, "Wow, you got to read a little bit more."
Yeah, been taking my time, really trying to get the nuances of the drawings and the arc because that is new for us.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's a lot there.
It really is.
There's a
Yeah, I
lot
mean,
there.
yeah, you can spend 10 minutes looking at one page. Like, it's just
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, Casca and Cavalry finally go to rescue Guts, and he's alive with hundreds of bodies around him. It's an iconic panel of him against the tree holding his sword. It's so monumental. Like, I would love to have a frame of that on my wall.
Yeah, there's so much of that that I would think would make awesome artwork, like just to hang up. Yeah, prints.
All those bodies around him, though. Like, the dude's not human, man.
Dude,
There's no way.
hundreds. Yeah. I mean, okay, did you think his sword was different? Drawn differently? I thought it was longer and skinnier.
I don't know, but if anyone who's listening to this or watching this, if you know, does the sword switch art in this one? I didn't notice it.
I might like I didn't check it. I meant to do that before we chatted and I completely forgot. But I'm pretty sure that it does. It looks like it's not quite as much as that like Final Fantasy big chunky. I thought it was longer and skinnier, but again, might be just perception or something. I don't know. It might be something different.
Yeah. Well, let us know down in the comments for sure. They'll let you know if you got it wrong. I promise. Did you see that an elf was mentioned by Judea when she was talking to Casca? And I immediately was like, is that Puck?
Dude, same. I was like, she's back.
I was so big. Maybe we're just connecting the two, and there's a lot more elves.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, it's true. I did think Puck was coming back though.
Yeah, I was kind of excited, like even if it was just a name drop or something. But
Mhm.
Judea gives Casca some elf dusk and says it can heal wounds and even save a life. And obviously, Guts is in a pretty rough spot here, so she's going to go use that elf dust to potentially save Guts's life, which is pretty great. What do you think of Judea?
I just Judea, I feel like is drawn with kind eyes. Sounds weird, but you're just like, oh, you know what? This is a nice dude. Like, really, just I don't think there's a bad bone in Judea's body. Honestly, like for me, that's my take on it. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it
What do you
feels like
think?
I like Judea. I think she's like one of the, or he, sorry. I always think it's a girl because of
Same.
the feminine drawing.
Yep.
But Judea is definitely probably one of my favorite side characters, like outside of obviously Guts, Casca, and Griffith.
Mhm.
The one that probably resonates with the most. I think I'm sorry, Judea gets the most FaceTime as well. But
Mhm.
Judea always seems to be listening to people and like really hearing them and not
Yeah.
trying to force things upon them.
Yeah, you have Judea, and then I can't remember what that other dude's name is that I just do
The
not like too. The black haired dude that's like, like
Oh, yeah, I should have wrote that name down. I think
I
I
did
did.
write it down somewhere. I think later on,
Well,
but
he will come up later. I did write his name down, and we'll talk about him later, but I know who you're talking about, and I hate him. I hate him. I hate him.
just want to like he's probably the most hated for me. I want to punch him
Yeah.
off. And he's just negative all the time. Like, dude, come on, like
Yeah,
get with
ease
it.
up. Ease up, but,
It's the
like,
Hawks.
you're part of the team.
Yeah, really. And like he's an upper dude too. Like
Well,
quit killing their lives.
we'll get to him a little bit later because he has a lot to say and do.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not do as much, but he definitely says a lot later down
Yeah.
the road. But we do get a huge moment of development for Guts as he's talking to Casca on the hill, speaking of the campfires representing each soldier's dreams. And it all combined to make a blazing inferno named Griffith. Dope panel, amazing. But Guts says his fire isn't here. And at the end of this campaign, he will leave the Hawks. But it's weird because, like, for the first time ever, Guts seems happy.
Yeah, it is. I was torn with that because I thought he was going to say that he had something different, not that his was not
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, that
The,
took me off guard because he was
dude,
painting this picture and then he just like, man, I don't like it. I'm out of here.
the Inferno named Griffith. Let's go, man.
So fitting. I mean, they do. They make him. He's an inferno on the page every time.
That's actually a good point. Like that's a perfect nickname to give him.
Mhm.
Because every time Griffith is on the page, I'm just glued. I'm
Yeah,
glued and
it's like
wondering
he's
wondering
tangible.
his motivations, and
Yeah.
how is he going to achieve this stuff. Um then we move on. We see the Tudors and the Holy Purple Rhino Knights hold the city of Daldry and are led by General Boskogn, is how I think we're going to say it.
Okay.
Band of the Hawk is sent to capture that, though, even though supposedly the keep is impregnable. I like this. I like that we're getting a little bit more of a bigger scale. The world's opening up. We're getting some backstory. That's one of the things that Berserk reminds me of a lot of the fantasy novels that obviously I love. You can see them all over the channel here. Is that like there's a good amount of time given to the setting and to the world building in this work.
Mhm. Yeah. I with those the Holy Purple Rhino Knights, I definitely thought that dude was riding on a rhino too. Like it wasn't a horse. I was like, okay, that's where they got their name from. But I was wrong.
Sometimes we miss.
Yeah,
Sometimes,
sometimes we swing and sometimes we miss, Bob.
as long as
But
you keep swinging, man.
yeah.
Hey, did you notice when Guts was gambling with his crew how he kept winning?
Yeah.
And they said
He's
that he had the
devil.
devil's luck.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude's killing hundreds of people. He's apparently got the devil's luck. He can't seem to die.
I
Um,
mean, yeah, he's just there's
something up.
yeah, definitely something up.
Also, I mean, we probably should mention, he's born of a dead mother,
Yeah.
so that probably has something to do with it. But
Yeah.
that is not a throwaway line. That is a very important line, I think.
I think you're right. Yeah. And I think they put emphasis on the panels too when there's an important line. Or maybe I just like that's my imagination, but I feel like there is because that one also stuck out for me.
Yeah, I mean, it was right there. You could have easily glanced over if you weren't taking your time. But I caught that and I was like, "Yep, file that away. I'm just
Mhm.
gonna file it back." So how about the supreme governor commander of the Tudors battle is the same person that Griffith sold his body to earlier in this book or
How
edition?
crazy.
Oh snap, dude.
I didn't think that would ever come up again.
I mean, I thought it was, and actually, here's the thing: it could have never came up, and it still would have been an excellent way of building Griffith's story.
Mhm.
And then we get this dude later on.
Yeah. Yeah, he's back, and you're like, "Oh, what's gonna happen now?"
I love the continuity of this.
Yeah, it's very, very cool.
The battle for Daldry is incredible, like flat out best battle so far.
Yeah.
The governor is lusting for Griffith, and it leads to this big chase.
Oh,
While
it's
Casca is behind to take the city and has her big moments, of course, when in the battle. However, she's shot with an arrow after being distracted by that annoying asshat Adon. He says the arrow is covered in a narcotic of sorts, and Casca slays Adon, thank God, and takes the city. Guts' sword breaks, but is thrown another one, and he cuts down Boskog.
Dude, I had to go back and make sure that Adon was dead because I hated him so much. Because I'm like, I was like, he just got cut in the mouth, and I'm still not convinced he's dead.
Yeah, I wanted him to die, very
Yeah,
much so. And he's begging for his life, and I'm like, Casca,
yeah.
please don't.
Oh, dude,
Please don't.
I thought maybe because you're seeing a soft side of Casca, and you're like, she might do it, and then you're like, oh nope, that's the Casca we know and love, and then just cuts his head in half. Like,
Yeah, and it's going to be a reoccurring theme too. We're talking about the governor's lust for Griffith and wanting to
mhm.
get that back and experience Griffith again, which is disgusting. But
Oh, so gross.
it's it's a common theme, at least through these three issues, of people's lust or people's darkest desires getting the best of them, and paying for it. That
Hmm.
they're not just getting away from
Yeah, it's
away
not
with
free.
it.
That's yeah.
Yeah. It's just something I caught on. Obviously, we'll have other examples later on. But Griffith ends up killing Lord Brenner, stating that he had no feelings about him at all, and that was in fact that he used him. Which Lord Brenner's the gentleman, or I shouldn't say gentleman. Yikes! Lord Brenner was the guy who took advantage of Griffith, uh, or at least so we thought. But Griffith says, "No, you meant nothing to me. I used you."
Which was pretty mic drop, awesome. I was so hype about that. I was like, yes, get that retribution.
But it shows you perspective means a lot.
Yeah,
Right? I mean, and Griffith also taking that power away from him with those words and his
yeah.
perspective is
And then
is
his
pretty massive.
his last dying breath. That's what he hears. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have Guts glances back suspiciously at the oversized sword he was thrown. He decides to make nothing of it and leaves with Casca. But we see Nosferatu Zod on a horse looking out, mentioning an event called the Eclipse coming soon, and that the demon advent approaches.
Bro, wait, do you think that's what he threw the sword? Is that what that was like? I had
I thought Judea threw the sword, but
I thought Griffith threw the sword.
We
So,
don't know.
the sword fell its way.
I'm pretty sure when I went back. Oh, see, now I'm having misremembering. I feel like I thought Judea did, but then I went back and it's not clear. So
Yeah,
someone in the comments let us know who threw the sword. I'm
yeah.
pretty sure it was Judea, but
I
it
don't
might
know
have
if
been
Jude can
Zod.
lift that sword, dude.
Oh
Jude's
my, oh
tiny.
my, he is tiny.
I
I
feel like
mean,
it was probably Zod or Griffith because Griffith
listen,
looked when they did it. So I don't know. Yeah,
all
I'd
I'm
be curious to know
saying,
if somebody knows the answer. That's a good one.
Griff. I mean, Guts is saying Devil's Luck. He seems like a demon, and then Zod's looking after. Like I'm wondering, like, is in some weird way like Guts and Zod related? Like
I
why is
felt,
he stalking Guts?
yeah, I think it might be that he's like, I took it as he's like watching everything he does because he said something. I can't remember what the line was about. Like trouble or death will follow, and everyone you love or everyone's around you. So like, is he going to be the one dealing the death, or is he just making? I don't know. Is he a guardian? Like, is like a guardian demon? Like what?
Well,
I don't.
again, this is the continuity that we were talking about that we
Yeah.
love, like people popping up, and you got to remember this stuff. This is going to be a series that I reread. I can already tell
Oh,
you
for
that.
sure. Yeah, absolutely. I already wanted to go back and look at that and see if I missed something from it.
I mean, dude, we're nine issues in, and there's so much rich history here between
Oh,
characters and everything else. I mean, it's impressive.
yeah, especially too with this like reading manga too. They do it so fast and so effectively, like
Yeah,
so deep, and it
and
just yeah, it's very impressive. It's really cool. I like it a lot. It's
I think it's accentuated by the art too.
I agree.
and how good these illustrations are.
Yeah, my ADHD brain loves it because it's like, "Fast, here's your info." You don't have to
Well, we do cut back to the castle where Foss, remember Foss, is scheming with the others to poison Griffith, and the leader of the plan is none other than the queen, who we find out was actually having an affair with Julius, who we remember Guts killed. She
Yep.
wants revenge for Griffith killing him. Foss has convinced her that Griffith did the deed. Um, I'm not too shocked that Voss is scheming, but
No.
I know the queen hated Griffith for her daughter. I didn't think she would want him killed, but again, we didn't know
Yeah.
the context that her and Julius were together. And
Yeah.
getting miles out of inches here. So
Mm.
good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Foss playing that that's a pretty expert move on his part. He's an expert schemer too.
Yes, very Varys from Game of Thrones vibes for me.
Absolutely.
I think we even said that before.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, for sure. That's what I think of every time I see him on the page.
But as they're doing all this stuff, Voss receives an anonymous letter before the celebration for Griffith where they plan to poison him, and he looks startled, but we don't know who wrote it, and he dips.
Mhm.
So we'll keep that filed away for now, and we'll talk about it here in just a second. But the celebration ball has a wholesome moment between Guts and Casca, where he tells her she looks nice and that she should ask Griffith to dance, even though he is being mobbed by women. What a Chad! Just an absolute Chad. Like, I think Guts is a bigger Giga Chad, but I do feel like Griffith is a Chad. I thought
100%.
this was nice, man. I thought this was really
Yeah.
nice that we get to see Casca like in a more, in a dress. I mean, we never see these
Mhm.
kind of things from her.
Yeah, never.
Um, and she had a cool line that I really liked, where she was like, "It's not that I don't want to wear these type of things, but I'm not going to fight in this. Like, it makes more sense that I wear pants in the uniform,
Mhm.
essentially."
Yeah, I
I like
forgot
that.
about that. Yeah, that was cool. It was very of her.
Yeah, and well, it also gives a different side. Like, she is feminine, and I think
Mhm.
that definitely like pings something in Guts's head. I think this is where you can kind of start to tell that he cares about her a ton. I mean, we could
Yep.
see it before, but this is really
Yeah.
on the nose,
Oh,
right?
yeah, because he actually gives her a full compliment and doesn't say, "You're in my way." Right after.
And he's still playful with her.
Yeah.
He
Well,
kind
I thought when she said that, like, "Oh, I forgot how it felt to dress up like this," I thought she was gonna be, like, pulling at her clothes and saying how much she hated it, which
Mhm.
that was definitely a turn for me. I didn't think that was how she was gonna.
Well, also you have to think we probably kind of expected that because I think she would do that maybe with anybody other than Guts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a signal that her admitting these things,
Mhm.
I
Yeah, they were
think
by themselves, and, yeah, there's no harm of the.
shows a lot of trust.
Well, that was when they both kinda dipped out because they
Mhm.
were, needing air.
Well, Guts is doing his thing where he's, like, sitting on a wall looking out in the distance, just being sad boy Guts.
He does do that all the
But
time.
he's not sad, he's actually happy.
Yeah. He
And
does
then
love sitting on walls looking at stuff.
he does, he does.
He do love them views.
Yes. So Griffith, we get the big announcement, is to be crowned the White Phoenix General. The highest title in command of his commanders, like Guts and everyone, will be Phoenix Knights, making them nobles. And Guts cracks a smile, man.
Yeah. Crazy.
Great moment.
It
What a
was.
great moment. I know it's not going to last long, but to see
We
Guts
we
smile,
always know he's not gonna be happy long.
yeah, that's
Martyr.
evident.
Yeah. Well, I think it's kinda funny that they were giving him that title, and that was Julius's title, and Julius kinda looks like, Griffith.
Oh, don't be doing this. Is this some alt reality?
Dude, I don't
I'm
know.
waiting for it. I can feel it.
Like, I thought that right out the gate. I'm like, "Is he his dad?" Like, that's what I thought when I saw him because of the hair and all, and he had him kill the other son. I don't know.
I wonder if we'll ever get any of Griffith's family stuff. That'd be interesting.
I mean, maybe that's why he's trying to get back. Maybe he was a bastard.
Dang. I think they do mention he's lowborn, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, that's what I think, but
Yeah.
I'm
The
also
jury's out. We're not sure.
reading Hobb, and I'm all about that bastard right now, but,
Very fantasy-esque.
Yeah.
Well, it appears Griffith unfortunately has drank the poison, but he didn't actually. When the queen and the schemers are celebrating, Foss slips out, and then the room is set on fire. Griffith awaits them outside to explain that he was never dead. They are defeated. They are defeated who die. Great quote. Queen dies in the fire.
Yeah. And Griffith gets to watch her.
Yeah, dude. I
Pretty
mean,
awesome.
it's pretty intense, and I
Yeah.
love that line. They are defeated. They are the defeated who die.
Mhm.
Is
Yeah.
the line. Great
Yep.
quote.
Oh, it
Really
really
good.
was. Yeah, and that was too going a bit about him being lowborn and, it doesn't matter that you're royal or whatever, you can still die.
Yeah, and that brings all of us. That's the great equalizer, is it not?
Yep, sure is.
You bleed just like I bleed. And it looks like Griffith took Foss's daughter hostage. Gus dressed like a crocodile Dundee and kills the guys Griffith hired, which is ridiculous.
Dude, like Twisted Fate on League of Legends. I was like, come on, man. What is this hat? Like,
Did
what?
I see him like in the gunslinger outfit? And I'm like,
For a second I thought he had his gun, and then he got an attack, like his cannon arm. I thought maybe he like found the cannon he was going to shoot, because you see the cannons before. That's where my head went, that he was going to shoot him, and then of course he just hits him with his giant sword. But
yeah, and to be clear, we're talking about when he dressed like Crocodile Dundee and he's killing the dudes that Griffith had hired to set the fire. He ties up all loose ends.
Yep.
And Foss has obviously been held captive.
It's kind of powerful too that Griffith was trying to take the money from the dead bodies, and Griffith's like, nah, man. He's like, leave that. They earned that. Man, like you're
Pretty
so
cold.
Yeah, it's cold, but like you're so confusing. Griffith is just
It's pretty honorable.
enigma. Yeah, it is. But I mean, what he just did wasn't too honorable.
I mean, you could actually posture that maybe taking that gold and donating it to starving children would maybe be more noble. So maybe noble's not the word, but it's odd.
Yeah,
It's very odd. He
very,
kept his word. I guess
Well,
that we can say that.
that fits better, I think. Yeah.
Which makes me feel like Griffith will keep his word to everyone else and will probably get his kingdom at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Guts starts explaining why he wants to leave and how Griffith had nothing but wanted everything, and going on about how he was his own dream, so he can stand beside. He wants his own dream so he can stand beside Griffith and not have him looking down on himself. This was super cool and another great moment where Griffith, is so above Guts in his mind, in Guts's mind.
Yeah.
He said, I can't have him look down. It's the one thing I cannot do. I have to find my own dream, my own fire, so I can stand beside you. Pretty inspiring. That actually clicks with me a lot because I'm a doer.
Mm-hmm.
I will, like, for instance, like this, like making a YouTube channel. I watch people do it, and I said, I've watched long enough. I want to make my own thing. I'm very much a go-getter when it comes to these type of things, and I kind of understand where Guts is coming from in that regard.
Yeah,
he wants something for himself.
I think it kind of is. I mean, like I forget. I think it was the first book when he was. Sorry, I couldn't get my words together there. Talking about how they were equals, and then Guts brings that back again. He's like, I want to be equal. So he, in his mind, still doesn't feel that way. And I think to your point, that resonates with you. Like that makes sense. That even though he said that, he still doesn't feel that way. So whatever his reality is doesn't matter because it's not the same as Guts.
In Guts obviously has a lot of just self-loathing and guilt and everything else riding in his back. I mean, you could tell it's taking an effect on him. And even though he loves the band at the hot, I mean, he's smiling and stuff now. He still feels like he must go away. But is he just sabotaging himself? Like, can he not let himself be happy? Mm-hmm. I seem to think so.
I would agree with that.
Judea talks with Guts and alludes that maybe Guts didn't find a place here like he had thought Guts would. It was really sad. She alludes to Casca and him being a thing for the first time, which all of us readers are like, yes, please.
Yeah. We've been waiting.
But it's my guess that just like what we talked about, I don't think he feels like he's good enough, or he hasn't got over the trauma of his childhood yet and probably never will.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when I really got to like Judea, when he was walking through and kind of, and he wasn't even pushing. He was just like telling him facts. This is what it is. This is what I see. Do with it what you will. And then he didn't push him when he said
he believes Guts.
Yeah, he does. And that's again, he's just, I mean, you said it. He's a good listener.
Tremendous. I mean, that's the kind of friend you need, man.
Yeah. Awesome.
Did we come to probably my favorite part of this little spree of 3 issues, and that is when Guts and Griffith duel over him leaving.
Yeah.
And did you notice this is the very first time ever we see Casca question Griffith over offering to fight to keep Guts?
Yeah. Yeah, that was, I mean, there was a huge part in multiple ways that they were fighting and that she went against her idol, her, basically her world.
I think she also kind of understands where Guts is coming from of wanting to be an equal and not live underneath another person's dream.
Mm-hmm.
But it also just shows how much love I think she has for Guts to question Griffith. Like we now know why she's so loyal.
There has to
and,
be a reason. Yeah.
And no one would ever blame her, for putting Guts second fiddle, but she doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty big.
And honestly, in that respect, I feel like she's putting them as equal almost.
Dang. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, dude. And what about Guts slices into Griffith's shoulder and just walks off?
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Not even a look back, dude.
Yeah, never. Didn't look back at anybody.
I got chills, and my heart was broken for Casca. I keep saying Casca.
Oh, it's Casca. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I someone can correct us in the comment. Casca, but I was heartbroken for her, man. Like I've really become attached to that character.
Yeah, and it doesn't have that darkness that really follows her around like Guts does. So you feel for her a little more. I mean, I still feel for Guts because he's the man.
He's my boy.
Yeah. But like she's a little bit more sympathetic, I think.
Well, and she was very angsty at the beginning and angry all the time at Guts, and for good reason. I mean, she's being essentially challenged almost by Guts. I get it, but I really grew to love her through this edition, and that was tough, man. Guts not looking back. Like I started to be like, come on, man. Like I was kind of mad at Guts a little bit.
I was too. I was like, dude, come on. Like, really?
Can we not have nice things?
Exactly.
Like it's going very well.
Yeah. It's much better than your last jaunt, man. Like
he's about to become a noble, essentially. Well, actually, we find out that that's not going to happen. But
yeah, true.
And to be fair to Guts, he is starting to question because he's camping alone, and he's like, "Why did I leave? Like, I'm back to doing this now. I have to watch my own back. All these things." And he said, he's visited by the Skull Knight, which, by the way, the illustration for that's badass.
I loved that, man.
Loved it. Who says in 1 year the eclipse will happen, and it sounds like it's going to be pretty devastating. So this is the second time now that we've heard about the eclipse.
Mm-hmm. Well, so before that, who's the Skull Knight? And before that, did you notice that owl is back?
No,
bro, the owl's back before this. I think that the owl, and this might be out there, but I think the owl is like a pet for the demons.
So you think it's
like it's the eyes for the demon. Like it's like he's overlooking. That's how they know what's going on. That's where Skull Knight came from, and that's where when he sees Zod, you didn't see the owl before that, but it looked an awful lot like the same owl.
Dang, dude, I did not notice that.
Yeah, and
that was sick.
Yeah, it was like right before the it was a couple pages I think before the knight shows up.
Well,
I was hyped. I was like, "Oh, the owl's back!" Because
those are the details I love, dude.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and check it out tonight. Well, we got Griffith, and he bangs the princess. I know that's not probably the best way of stating that, but he's clanking boots with the princess, and gets spotted by a handmaiden, and the king is furious.
Maybe not too happy.
And he's to have Griffith tortured for a year, which is not cash money, I would say. But we find out a little secret about our king here, and that is through Griffith kind of calling it out, like, why do you want her all to yourself? And we realize, and I think the king starts to realize that he's been secretly desiring his daughter.
Yeah.
And then he goes to her and does something pretty gross and unthinkable.
Yeah.
It's rough, man.
Yeah, it's not certainly not very cash money.
I could not believe what I was reading.
No.
And we're talking about the part where the king obviously abuses his daughter. There's certain things I can't say because of YouTube, and there's no reason to really dive into it.
No.
If you're watching this, you've read it, you know what it is. I don't like the king very much.
I didn't like him really to begin with.
I liked him when he first introduced because he gave Griffith a shot.
Yeah,
but it just shows you apparently you can't trust anybody.
Oh, I did forget. Sorry, not to go back real quick. That Skull dude kept calling Guts the struggler.
Yeah, you're right.
So again, I think that's I don't know. I feel like there's some demons in cahoots watching him. But
yeah, oh, definitely. I think they want him back.
Yeah,
I really do. So moving on. No, you're totally fine. Moving on from the disgusting abuse scene, which was wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, I was just like, dude, come on.
Is it not interesting that everything starts going to shit once Guts is gone? Like Guts leaves And remember, he had really good luck. Like, I felt like that played a huge role.
Oh, dude.
And then
All right.
yeah, and it goes to shit. And then Casca she feels so alone, and she's holding Guts' broken sword, and it's like, God.
Yeah, that was pretty powerful. Yeah, but then okay, so he has his sword though. I don't know. Maybe he got another sword.
Maybe. Well, no. Remember, he broke his sword and he got thrown one.
Yeah, but that's
So
not the same. He doesn't have the same sword though. That sword's curved. The one he
is
got
it?
thrown. The one he got thrown looked like it was curved, or maybe it was just in the picture. But
It
it
was
looked
a
like it
little
was.
curved, but
Yeah.
she's holding the one he first broke, I think,
Yeah.
on the
Oh, okay.
battlefield. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying.
All
He
right. All
still
right.
has his. Yeah.
Okay. So she has that as a memento. All right.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And we get the Band of the Hawk getting shot down, which was like, dude, when I saw it unfolding, I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're meeting Griffith. I'm like, no,
No.
I don't want to turn the page.
So-
And at first, I didn't know who was alive or dead. But we get Griffith getting tortured during this time, and the egg of the king is taken off of Griffith for the first time that we've seen. And then the stupid torturer drops it down a drain. And then we get the line, "The hawk has fallen."
Oh, yeah.
Dude, how are they going to get someone's going to have to get the egg of the king back.
I know, and dude, I mean, I laughed so hard when they had that torturer come in. like, really, this is the torture.
Very torture-esque.
Yeah, I mean, it was fitting.
It was.
But yeah, you dropped it in the immediately.
And it's coming back. So I gotta wonder, when are we gonna see that pop up again? And honestly, seeing Griffith tortured, like, again, I said this once, but like, I'm becoming a big fan of Griffith, and to see him tortured was pretty rough, man.
Yeah, I didn't care for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was worse too. You don't see as much of the torturer doing it, but when the king was just whipping him.
Yeah, those panels were great, but they were rough.
Yeah, that was pretty intense.
And then, but we check on Guts, and he's kind of doing all right though, dude. He's winning tournaments. He's told the Band of the Hawk is led by a woman, Casca, and Guts gets very confused, and we can tell that he's going to be on the move here. And then the dude from the tournament that Guts beats.
Oh yeah, Silat or whatever his name is. Silat?
Yeah, Silat.
Okay.
That's what I have. But he tries to kill Casca during an enemy raid, but Guts shows up and saves her, of course. But it also seems like it's been around a year, man. Like, we get a big time jump here.
Yeah,
at least big in my mind.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, a few pages and it's been a year. He's done a lot in a year. I mean, I guess he is doing better than he was sitting in the woods getting accosted by a skull dude riding a horse.
And the Band of the Hawk is not doing so well.
No.
I wonder if that's that devil's luck. But we get a really cool moment when he's fighting off Salat, where he catches the chakrams, the rings that's being thrown, on his sword handle, and then beats Cheeks, and then Salat gets away, of course. So we will see Salat again, I'm sure. But that battle was sick. It wasn't as good as, it had more than the Griffith duel. Like, the Griffith duel is really kind of a moment, but the panels for that duel were so great.
I love how that Salat is drawn. It's so cool. Definitely. Like, just, you're like, automatically, this person's it's drawn super well and aesthetically pleasing. You're gonna see more of them. Like,
yeah,
very cool.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna see more. And we end Deluxe Edition 3, which is issue 9, with Guts and Casca making up, and then they end up having sex. Guts has Gambino flashbacks and calls him father, and he tells Casca everything, and they lay with each other as the edition closes, with one last pic of Griffith's face, because during all of this, Griffith is being tortured, and it's been about a year, so the eclipse is coming. But I mean, let's talk about that. Let's talk about Guts actually telling someone his trauma.
Yeah, after that, man, it's not good for Guts. You can't even have sex without just like.
But it still had kind of a happy resolution, though.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
Because he kind of,
because then he becomes vulnerable. So.
Yeah, and she
working
holds
through his
him.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and she holds him, and they continue to do the deed, and it's different after that.
It is. Yeah, you could definitely feel a difference, because he thought he was going to get turned away because anyone has done that to him or turned their back on him, or he can't trust anyone, and he can finally trust her, and she sees his literal scars. He sees her literal scars. they're bare naked in front of each other. There's nothing to hide, and they're both like what they see. So
Yeah, and I mean, they do bear the physical scars, and then the ones that really matter are the ones internally for guts.
mhm.
And to see him open up like that, I mean, we've never seen this. Never.
Never,
Not even
never.
once. He tells her about Gambino, man. Like,
Yeah, like
guts is growing.
his deepest, darkest secret, and he tells her, and he can open up and have a chick. Like,
Yeah, where is this going to go? And I wonder how Casca's going to feel post this, knowing that Griffith is, they're happy while Griffith is being tortured. I mean, they're going to go try to bust him out, obviously,
mhm.
but
They were kind of alluding that he was dead. Did you feel like that?
no, I
No.
didn't.
Okay,
No, I
I might be
didn't.
off.
But I might be wrong.
Yeah,
I guess we'll find out when we start reading Deluxe 4 soon.
yeah, that's very true. Well,
But I
because
definitely,
yeah, I thought maybe that like they come back, he gets marked, and he's a demon too. I don't know.
I mean, something's going to happen because we saw him Black Swordsman arc. So I don't know how we get to
Yeah,
that point.
that's
But
true.
I mean, I do wonder, is like Griffith going to want like the adoration back from Casca, or is he going to say, you guys really like became this while I'm being tortured? Or here's a bigger question for you. Is this all part of Griffith's plan?
It probably is, man. He's got it all figured out, or at
Well,
least it seems. Well, I guess he's kind of getting tortured,
well,
but
is it going to be different when the Egg of the King is gone? He lost it.
is it gonna wash up?
But like, how does that affect Griffith now?
Yeah, yeah. Is that what is really giving him his power?
We're going to find out, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm hype. It's
So-
so hard not to text you about this stuff.
Yeah, I know. We just
Like
get it all out here.
Yeah, like multiple times. I'm like, oh, I can't talk about it. I gotta wait.
So, what are your overall feelings about this? This deluxe edition, 7, 8, 9 issues, and what are you looking most forward to?
Definitely looking forward to see what happens with Griffith. Lot of twists and turns in here. I really liked it. I like to see Casca and Guts both grow so much, and I mean, dude, I'm stoked. It's so hard not to like just
Rifle through them.
yeah, it really is. You have to use.
I mean, we have so
much
many
discipline.
editions left.
I know. Every time I look at that little paper, because usually when I shove it in the back of it, and so by the end of it, it starts falling out, and then I look at it, I'm like, man, I can't wait to have all these on the shelf. Just looking at them all, they're just so pretty. I love them.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty awesome. I think I'm most excited to see what in the hell's up with Zod. I don't think we'll get any immediate answers, but like I want to see what this eclipse is about. I'm ready. Like I'm ready to dive into 4 as soon as we hang up here.
Honestly, same. 4 coming Friday. No,
It'll be sooner than this one took. But everyone, we appreciate you checking this out. The amount of support for these Berserk videos is a little, honestly, it's overwhelming and humbling. Me and Andrew love talking about this stuff.
Oh yeah, so fun.
Yeah, and we appreciate your patience with us being first-time manga readers and first-time Berserk readers. Keep the spoilers out of the comments for anything that happens down the road. We don't want to get spoiled for anything, but up until this point, have at it. Let's talk in the comments. I'll be down there, and we appreciate you checking out this video. There's a Patreon description. It is optional, but always appreciated. Make sure to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already on this video. Helps other people find the video, which is always cool. I really love this Berserk fandom. You've read through the comments, right, Andrew?
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
It's great, man.
Yeah, and yeah, just so many people know so much about it too. So you'll learn a lot when you're reading them too. A lot of answer the questions, and yeah, it's just a great group of people. It's really cool. It's an awesome community to be a part of for sure.
Yeah, 99% positive stuff with a lot of good stuff to say and some amazing comments about like what this has meant to them and big moments, and it's just really awesome. Yeah. And someone recommended me to listen to the Guts theme, and I did, and oh my goodness. If you haven't done it, dude, you got to.
No, I haven't yet. I saw that, and I meant to the other day, but I haven't.
I'm very careful because of spoilers.
Yeah,
like I don't want to get spoiled on anything. So, but you can find it on YouTube without spoilers, and it's amazing.
Some people too. I forget who it was, but someone put a playlist to listen to.
While
you're reading
down in the comments.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty cool too.
Yeah,
that was. I think it added to it. I had to like figure out which song I wanted during which page, but yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, I definitely will be using that next time, and we'll be on the number 4 next, and we will have Vinland Saga videos up. I'm not sure when those will happen, but we will be continue this. We love Vinland Saga. It's just Berserk has really caught on here, and we have a ton of viewers that were requesting this and want us to keep going, and we will. So,
Yeah, no problem at all.
yeah. Andrew, thanks for your time, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
Yep, no problem. And everyone else, we'll be back with another episode shortly. And until I see you next time, be good, be safe, and remember to always
keep turning the page.
That's right.